The year is 2023, and things are moving forward at an incredible pace. A new chapter of space exploration is opened with an awe-inspiring look at our universe. People on Earth are once again freaking out about balloons, and while the planet itself keeps increasing its speed by the annual 1.8 milliseconds, technology has declared Moore's law as dead. Because it's Sonic's law now, baby. For tech is evolving faster than the bullets flying out of that pump-action MP5. In entertainment, the implementation of AI not only opens for possibilities to create new stylish gem, but allows us also to tap into the true artistic genius of making our memes more lifelike. Rendering techniques push the graphical boundaries of our hardware so far that it almost feels as if we could go outside and touch grass. Yet still, in this age of innovation, I fail to understand how this game, this $60 slasher shooter was made. Oh man, they replaced the dot on the reticle with red.png. And having played this, why, I can't stop thinking about it. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's masterpiece, a bit of context. Hi, Jack here, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Chill Zone. Usually when I make game reviews, I tend to employ the aid of my altered egos in the different facets of Agent 47. But this time around, I decided to do this raw. And the reason for that is that today's game is very deserving of that, because I like playing weird bad games. Or actually, let me rephrase that. I like playing the games that upon the release get trashed by everybody and 2 years later gets picked up and called a rare gem. This love for bad games, however, does not take away my ability to trash on them once in a while. And the last time that I, like the average basement dweller, criticized the game was because of the sorry state in which the Star Wars Jedi Survivor PC port came in. Not even a week later, Bethesda greeted us with the masterclass in failure in the form of Redfall. Dear Bethesda, why is the vampire sucking this dude off? And around a month after that, a game that almost no one was hyped for not only ran but also won the Paralympics for the most broken game. Naturally, I completed Gollum to my own detriment, and went even so far as to ask my subscribers for the weirdest games that they've ever played, and the responses were freaking great. These range from the body horror type like Cruelty Squad, where you can Spider-Man your ways across the game's neo-capitalist world using your appendix and built-in back thrusters. Jesus Christ. There was Killer 7, a shooter puzzler type of game that has you playing as 7 killers in one, trying to uncover global plots, doing some ass-assing, and generally just containing way too many kinks for a single game. Like they even have the ASMR sneakers squeaking sound. Yeah. It's pretty satisfying, yet the crazy kept on going with titles like Signalis, Fear and Hunger, and of course Like a Dragon. Now, there were a lot that were recommended to me, but these were just the ones that I got to try. But the thing is, despite these games' varying genre and of course their penchant towards the weird, there was a common denominator between them, and that being that there was intentionality behind them. Like a creative team sat together behind a desk and decided these were the messages, the experiences, the feelings that they were trying to convey to the target audience. And they did just that. And despite the fact that I didn't quite catch the context of each game as I started with them, playing them for enough time made everything coming together. With Wanted Dead, however, I don't think that any decisions, or dare I say the result of said decision, ever came out as something that was intentional. Which is why in today's video I aim not to answer what, but rather why is Wanted Dead. Wanted Dead follows the story of a Hannah Stone, a gargantuan mummy detective. Like seriously, the woman is 7.5 feet tall and is always put in situations where she's way taller than everybody else. And of course, she's also a mother. Yeah, wait. She, along her squad of ex-war criminals, form what is known as the Zombie Squad, a unit that undertakes some Suicide Squad-esque missions across Hong Kong in an attempt to stop sinister police corruption schemes, some internal conflicts, some governmental stuff that involves the usage of synthetic human beings, and it gets really complicated. But the game begins with her in a cell, in the process of being recruited for a new mission. Hinting to the fact that this is not her first rodeo, she requests to know who the members of this kind of
Suicide Squad
are going to be. And thus, in the transitional style that will baffle even the timey-wimey shenanigans that Nolan engages in once in a while, we fade to black to a completely different location, a local diner where a newly formed squad is spending their time. Does the game, much like my change in clothing item, ever explain why it does this? No, nor does it care to. The only thing that's important here is to get the plot moving forward. But just so you know, instant transmissioning through time and space in this game happens all the time. But anyways, August 22nd, 2022, where we meet the team. And they're definitely one of the teams of all time, as they're just sitting there chilling, ordering what I guess I can only describe as a continental-sized breakfast.
I have some eggs, beans, bacon, make it 4 slices. No, 5. Definitely 5. A few pancakes on the side, some syrup, banana milkshake, coffee with cream. Please don't put milk in there. Very hard to digest. Some orange juice and a pack of smokes.
Tomato soup and coffee.
And that generally tends to be a good thing, a nice way to showcase your group dynamics, how it is that the different parts are working together. And to be fair, the devs actually do their part to put them in situations where they are interacting with one another, having fun, being really weird.
Dad, I woke up the morning after and suddenly I have 4 balls.
They even went to the extent of making the loading screen to the game a reenactment of the Super Hot Fire meme. Yes, when I saw that, I kinda had that reaction too. But mind you, after, 15 hours of gameplay and me running around their disgruntled police station.
Don't talk to me. I'm leaving.
What's the matter with you?
I did not find a shred of chemistry between the members of this team.
Dad goes, "Get out of there, son. You're being fucked."
Wait, there's just a single guy wheezing in the background. What the hell?
You're done?
All that I can truly tell you about them is that this wonderful gentleman here called Herzog is an actual creep, and one that once got reverse creeped on.
Then there was this crazy Russian chick, Kolchak. Some serious nightmare, if you ask me.
They actually locked up a woman with you?
No, it was me who got locked up with her.
Doc is super awkward, might have a drinking problem, and is definitely fat.
Sure don't want a slice of that bacon.
Spare me the sin of making you lose weight.
Cortez is, I guess, mute. We don't know exactly, but he uses sign language to talk only. And of course, our main character, Hannah Stone, who's just oozing with so much drip that one would be remiss not to think that she was part of some gang in Night City. I mean, she's got the ripped jeans, the crop top, one arm is fully tatted in the sleeve and the other one is replaced with a mechanical prosthetic that has embedded metal knuckles in her hand. Jesus Christ! And to top it all off, you'll never catch her lacking wearing them fake J's. And following the transition of third-person hack and slashers, she wields both a gun and a katana. She's like the most PS3 designed character ever, which is not just something that I say in jest, because from a gameplay perspective, this plays at least like something that is 2 generations old. You have a sword to hack and slash your way through repetitive hordes of enemies, a long-range weapon so that you can engage enemies from afar, a pistol that allows you to interrupt strong melee attacks and enact finishing moves and combos, and all of this on paper should technically work, but like most B-movie type games of the PS3 era like Wet or Bayonetta at Home Bullet Witch, the gameplay is just passable. Now, to be fair, it does a wonderful thing with its difficulty, for which there is a Japanese mode.
Oh my god.
Enemies are really aggressive. They can pick you up from afar, they can pick you up from cover and launch grenade behind said covers, and they will absolutely violate you with how hard they hit. And it really doesn't help that they are incredible bullet sponges. As an example, Here we have an enforcer-type enemy that we're going to call George.
Yeah, boy.
Now, Jorge here must be from South America because of the Brazilian amount of bullets that is required to take him down. I mean, this is better footage. The man could by his lonesome ruin the entire NRA. Because of this, you can't play the game like Devil May Cry, nor expect to clear an entire room while hiding behind covers like you do in Gears of War. Yeah, playing the game that way is going to be very punishing. So much like military tactics, you'll have to stick and move, the sticking part being done automatically by the game, meaning that this was in fact the way that the game intended you to play. And perhaps it's my recent hands-on with an amazing Souls-like that has tainted my opinion of this game's combat system, but I like the fact that this is trying to mix third-person shooter gunplay with melee combat akin to something like Ninja Gaiden and the occasional Dead or Alive, with some guard-cancelling moves that do expand Hannah Stone's movesets, which unfortunately was something that I only found out after gnashing my teeth and just struggling through this game's campaign for many hours and then replaying it one more time. My point is that if you dig deep enough, there can be found some complexity here that make the game pretty fun to play. Except from the boss encounters, they all suck. The animations, more specifically execution animations, are really awesome too. And whenever the developers put on display what I can only describe as a lost child of Metal Gear, Deadly Premonition and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, I couldn't help myself but wonder if there was more to the game. I started really vibing with it, trying to figure out what's beyond the gameplay, and then the game decided to hit me with this.
Fought Taliban. Guess what? The sound of this horn meant instant perdition and devastation. What I didn't have is children. I guess that I was never fit for fatherhood.
Sir, I just want to say...
You shut the hell up, Herzog. I ain't done yet. You motherfuckers are like my own children. And I cannot believe my own eyes when I arrive on the scene. Bodies, dead policemen, a crashed helicopter, dead fucking androids, piles of corpses, uniforms or not, this shit is all over the news. The zombie unit strikes again. No survivor.
This takes place few moments after the events of the second mission. The police chief rebukes the squad for having once again disobeyed orders. Orders which, by the way, you cannot choose whether or not to obey or not, like, it just happens.
Gear up.
You heard Captain, right?
We going.
Hannah, acting as the mother of the squad, is very upset about this. Continuously annoyed, she even has a bit of an outburst at a local diner.
Shut the hell up, all of you.
Calm the bean down, Hannah. But then the game does one more of those transitions and puts us directly into a karaoke minigame. Now, come here. This is the part where I was starting to wonder if I was watching some kind of, like, I don't know, Twilight Zone episode. How did we go from this to this? I have no idea, but I did try to ignore the awkwardness and just enjoy myself a nice karaoke minigame, because I do in fact revel in this type of thing. Bangers like Baka Mitai or a plethora of others from the Yakuza franchise have been lodged all the way back in my cerebellum so that I will never forget. In the criminally underrated Sleeping Dogs, my man Wei reases his way to Tiffany's underpants by singing a song. And I of course would be remiss if I did not mention my boy Harry, who poured his heart out in front of a crowd of people that mostly hated him in an attempt to heal himself, or was it for communism? I'm not too sure, but the point is that those were memorable karaoke moments that I remember. What Wanted Dead presented me to was a sing-along to 99 Luftballons.
As you can imagine, or as you know, this is hell.
Okay, look, if there's one thing that I can say about this is that they actually got the Germans right? I can praise the VAs from actually being all German. This definitely helped me tolerate the performances with the ever-shifting tempo of the song and your squad mates losing the shit of beat in the background. Like, it was cute, it was kind of fun. That's not the Twilight Zone-y part of this. What was has something to do with the aftermath of this minigame, because when it's done, you get a message from Vivian, your gunsmith, that tells you that you are allowed to repeat this game alongside other minigames in the police station game room. Why does the police station have a game room? But you could play and replay those minigames for collectibles and achievements, and naturally, I did just that. But when I launched the karaoke minigames, I realized that It wasn't a karaoke minigame. It was solely a 99 Luftballon minigame. Now you at home on the toilet watching this right now, I don't really think that you're understanding this. The game spent 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, with animations and full-on cutscenes building up to this. And I don't know what to say. I am... I'm baffled. At this point in the game, I looked at my watch and I was thinking to myself, I got to dig further. I need to find out what the hell is going on here. Because if I were to give an estimate, I'll say that this game is operating 80% on vibes alone. Because it sure was what it felt like for me when the game had this crazy obsession with processes. Now, going back again after the first mission, Hannah has to tell the boss how they...
Fucked it all up.
what she said.
No, you fucked it all up.
But before she does, she puts her weapons away at the security check as we follow the immaculate sequence of her unloading her gun, putting it on the tray, where nothing happens. She even passes by the metal detector and nothing happens. And then the game goes full Kojima with his cutscenes, as a 1 minute and 11 seconds long sequence follows where Hannah gets food from the cafeteria that is so disgusting that even the cat refuses to eat it. Why is there a cat in the cafeteria? Why are the cats really roaming at the police station? Look, I don't ask for much in games these days. I just need me a game with a good enough story, some cool gameplay and a consistent performance. And although I am a sucker for games with a lot of stylization, I won't mind if the style doesn't come with some Shakespearean tale on the human condition, or deep philosophical questions like, do Android enjoy French kissing? A new sequel from Philip K. Dick found in your local libraries, ladies and gentlemen. No, I don't care about those. I just need things to make sense, but when they don't, that's where I have a problem. In games like Death Stranding, despite how out of place and at times extremely disturbing they may be,
Jesus Christ!
something as banal as a shower scene does play an integral part in the gameplay. For example, how Sam's recycled blood can be used to create a vast array of tools to combat the BTs. In Yakuza, each time our protagonist shares a meal with someone, it furthers the story, or at least elaborates on something about their past. Wanted Dead does not do this, or wait, it does try to do this but fails miserably. And there's no better example to this than the ramen scene.
Hey, we were in the middle of something here.
I smell cat's piss for some reason. What could it be? Hi, Vivian.
Jesus fucking Christ, you're an animal.
No, Stone. I'm a gourmet. Place your bet and let the Wheel of Fortune make a choice for you. Tonkotsu? Good one. First, you observe the bowl. Appreciate it.
According to the record of the Yokohama Ramen Museum, ramen originated in China and made its way to Japan in 1859. We know that the first specialized ramen shop opened in Yokohama in 1910. Tonkotsu, the pork bone, is something Lieutenant Hannah Stone was really looking forward to. And so did Sergeant Arnold Herzog.
Eat the pork.
No. Just touch it. What's important here is to apologize to the pork by saying, see you soon.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Herzog.
I showed this to my chat on stream and they all started wondering if this was AI generated, and I started asking myself the same question. Who is the Australian ramen narrator? Why is he the only second person in this game to whom English appears to be natural? Where the hell did he go? Because it never comes back in the game. And of course, if you're wondering if any of this is related to the rest of the game, you know it's not. Having cutscenes that are way too long that extend the stay is fine. It can build atmosphere. Super goofy side activities? Sign me up. But when the dialogue becomes just way too weird for me to follow, that's where you lose me. Now, English is clearly not a language that most of the voice actors were comfortable with. I can't say for most of the cast members in this game, but I do know from our protagonist that she had zero experience with voice acting before this. But the delivery of the sentences here just feel like none of the parties involved had neither heard nor said the word that were written in the script ever.
What in the world happened here?
Standard police procedure. You know, Cap.
Holy shit. They sure do look human.
You have never seen one before?
Sir, their leader.
Leader?
He seemed to be in charge. He escaped on a helicopter.
A fucking drone? On a helicopter?
Yes, a black heli, military spec. There was a weird thing about his escape. He had to go with him.
A female drone?
Yeah.
Now, should we blame this on the cast? Maybe. The writers? Definitely. Like, what? Who wrote these scripts? Like, this makes Gollum look good.
He's not wrong.
I know. Out of all these characters, only Vivian, the gunsmith, played by Stephanie Justin. Yes, that's Stephanie Justin, was able to deliver sentences that didn't make me feel like I was watching a terrible 80s flick. Yet at the same time, for reasons that are unknown to me, she too was forced to deliver lines that felt as if they were pulled out of a Hideo Kojima draft.
Where did it come from?
Hard to tell. It was manufactured in the United States before the war, but we don't have access to shipping logs.
Stone, tell Eleanor Abernathy that we're not here for the entropic view.
I heard that.
What the fuck are you talking about? Both of you.
The anthropic principle is a philosophical consideration that any data we collect about the universe is filtered by the fact that in order for it to be observable in the first place, it must be compatible with the conscious and sapient life that observes it.
Mind you, when I say Kojima, I'm only half joking. Many of this game's elements have taken clear inspiration from the Metal Gear franchise. The shadowy organization emerging from within the ranks of the military, upcoming world wars, the different bosses that you have to fight, at times even the level designs that you come across, the mechs, and even the promotional material.
Hey, it's your girl, Vivian Niemandsverdriet, and today we're doing a gorgeous, bubbly, cheesy lasagna.
He is dead serious. And I'm sure it tastes delicious. It certainly smells fantastic.
If Wanted Dead's contemporary in the likes of Wet or Deadly Premonition are comparable to old movies like the Samurai Cop films or The Room,
Oh, hi, Mark.
in that these games don't know how bad they are but deliver what they've got with alarming confidence, then Wanted Dead is definitely the disaster artist. A game that not only takes inspiration but takes with it the cheese from those games and embraces all of the weirdness to deliver a product that at times just simply takes you aback. And it really does so when it pulls shit like this. Yes, that's right, baby. This is what I was looking for. Baby. Like, you know the meme of like holding a stick and trying to poke something to make it do something and it just doesn't? That was pretty much Wanted Dead until this moment happened. It had tripped, it had fallen, knocked itself down over and over again, and out of nowhere it had done this cyberpunk edge runner thing. It had gone anime. And what I just showed you is not even the best part. By the third mission, while heading to a nightclub, right after these uncomfortable deliveries,
It's not her, it's the bag.
She fucking beat, man. What's with the bag?
If she comes to, she gets a nice raincoat. If not,
can this game please give me a break and just take itself seriously for a bit? Hannah and Cortez crossed the doors of the club and transitioned to these anime-style cutscenes, starring nothing else but Maniac from Flashdance. Someday the song is cut. Hannah gets this flashback from her younger self during a time where she might have been happy, but a sense of unease still lingers. When Cortez then puts his hands on her shoulder, the beat proceeds.
Oh, that's that good shit!
I swear to God, this is what I look for in these types of games. These moments of intentionality. While they may be few, they do showcase true effort, like a feeling that the devs really wanted to create something that was beyond the norm. And it genuinely took my breath away. But for each breath of fresh air that this game gives you, it just replaces it with a cloud of absolute bullshit. And so I put down the game and decided that I would look into who the developers were. And oh boy, did it pan out to be something. Studio Soleil, a subsidiary of Valhalla Game Studios. They put out games like 2020 Samurai Jack Battle Through Time and Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers. One of these games that I know is at least pretty pug. But it wasn't Soleil itself that got my attention, but rather Valhalla Studios, and more specifically Tomonobu Itagaki. And more specifically than that, the Japanese Tomie Wiseau. If you do not know this man, I do not blame you, but please do yourself a great favor and look him up. He has one of the most insane interviews that I've ever got to witness. It is truly one of the interviews of all times. But not to bore you with his tremendous history, he is responsible for a game that I think has been an inspiration for Wanted Dead, one called Devil's Third. A Wii U exclusive that somehow made it in the lines of Nintendo's adult content that follows a protagonist that kind of have a similar story, like an ex-war criminal, this time around a terrorist, working alongside members of the US military to take down his old buddies. Like, the concept was pretty neat, but the execution, my god. But your protagonist, Ivan, similar to Stone, just refuses to play by the rules, has one sword and two guns, hack and slashes his way through repetitive hordes of enemies, here under military dudes, ninja type dudes, and would-be drone type dudes.
A fucking drone?
Zombies. Devil's Third has zombies. I suppose that once you touch Ninja Gaiden, you are literally unable to do anything else. I mean, look at the trailers and tell me that this isn't a game that Wanted Dead was striving for. Now, Devil's Third was bad, by the way. It came out during the THQ recession, and you know what that means, right?
It would mean bankruptcy.
And before some smarty pants in the comment section tries to correct me, yes, I do know that this man was not involved in the making of Wanted Dead. But I simply refuse to acknowledge that the creator of Ninja Gaiden is the one who directed this mess. Tomonobu's involvement in this might be a conspiracy, but it is my conspiracy. Here's the thing. I can't blame this game for trying, because playing this felt to me like what a kid version of myself would think was a cool game. Whether it was from the game's aesthetics, the fight against the Ghost in the Shell rejects, Connor from Detroit Become Human who can duplicate himself by mitosis,
Detective Stone, this time you won't be saved by the bell.
or the German SS version of Raiden.
To get some kind of info from me, it won't matter after I kill you.
This fucking game. What are we calling him? Mr. Lightning Bolt? It kept hitting me with concepts that should be great on paper, but the execution was just so... And mind you, crazy concepts aren't the thing to scare most gamers away. In the Yakuza games, for example, this could be right at home. POV, me on my way to deliver a girl from a cult after I beat down a gorilla-sized man and pimped out a bunch of women. These things genuinely happen in Yakuza. The thing, however, is that they are well structured and they are coherent. In Wanted Dead, everything is super disjointed and nothing makes sense. Which is very sad because there was the possibility to flex on some recent game releases if only the narrative was connected. Okay, with the worst transition ever, I really want to talk about those anime cutscenes again, because they do reveal a lot about the game's deeper lore. And disclaimer, what you're about to hear is a collection of me finding those things and also roaming around this police station and trying to uncover whatever it is that I could, reading this game's wiki page and also watching Blade Runner 2049. It's just a really good movie. Alright, so in this 2022 version of The World, everything is owned by banks and multinational corporations. Some 20 years ago they started privatizing everything and eventually creating their own government after a Great War Jesus Christ, practically destroyed the world. Like in many other games such as Deus Ex or Cyberpunk 2077, the police is a private sector affiliated to a company known as Tower Synthetics, the first level investigated in the game. As the name correctly indicates, they do dabble with robotics, industrial machines, and of course synthetic human beings that we so kindly put down and cut in half at the children's playground. So in the 20 years of post-war depression in the city of Hong Kong, the police force captain, and Albert Simon, your captain, founded the Manu military program, aimed at recruiting former war criminals in the ranks of the Hong Kong police force. Following the narrative chronologically are the anime scenes. These show a much younger Stone as a teen mother looking for a way to make ends meet and to provide medicine for her sick child. A company named Continental Standard that we learn only about after the credits roll makes Stone sign a contract. one in which they will take care of her child, in exchange of giving her a white-collar job somewhere in the world where she'll then be sedated and wake up a year later not knowing whatever happened. Damn, not even Cyberpunk 2077 has this level of human trafficking. That is totally legal. Adding a bunch of war crimes to her rap sheet, Stone entered the Manu military program and got rehabilitated. She joined the police force and the newly formed Zombie Squad, closing a bunch of cases due to her ruthlessness, and in the process becoming the team's leader. Now, in one specific case that looks very similar to some assets from Cyberpunk 2077, I see you pulling a day before there, Soleil. She rescued and befriended a child with whom she would later form a parental bond with, because he congratulated her drip. But during the events of the game, as she keeps on getting those flashbacks of her memories, she would encounter a drone called October, drone being the designation given to Android in this world. Claiming herself to be human, October pulls a switcheroo, a Ghost in the Shell, a Blade Runner type line saying that perhaps Hannah is a drone herself. It's not that impactful. This line would set her and her team on a path to try to take down Dow Synthetic to prevent anybody from suffering of the same fate that she did. Okay, I sort of made that last part up to feed my own headcanon, but with regard to the rest, this is not what the game gave us. But it would have been so cool, are you kidding me? A world, a cyberpunk world by the way, where people are forced to literally put their lives on the lines just to make ends meet. And throw in there some anime stuff and it's literally like kicking the door into the room of awesome. Hey awesome, I'm dead. It could have been seriously cool. And there were moments where in retrospective it almost worked. Like in the nightclub cutscene or that final scene where Stone is sitting at a hotel, calling the orphanage that she pays to take care of the child she rescued. She's now branded an enemy of the state. With the words of her adopted child, she now realizes just how difficult it's going to be to have a work-life balance. And as her room gets surrounded, she cocks her gun and... credits roll. This game infuriates me to no end. There's this one scene from a Martin Scorsese film that I often think about, The Departed I think it is, that says something in the likes of, "You have to be the one to end it, because I'm not capable. I'm Irish. I've lived with something wrong for the rest of my life." Sorry about the accent there. It's a funny line, but one that sent a jolt of electricity down my spine. One that succinctly sums up a lot of the problems in my life, like the type of moment that is supposed to give me clarity against like future occurrences and make sure that I do not commit the same problems. But nope, I keep on playing the same games, whether it is from sheer habit or like sheer feeling of accomplishment, trying to struggle to something to get an achievement. Perhaps it's the fact that I'm playing a game that is so anti-modern gaming that it keeps on reminding me of a time where I was a kid and I only cared about playing something that visually just looked cool to me. Or perhaps it's the fact that I paid $60 for this game and I simply just needed to get my money's worth for this because simply this was not worth the money. No, but I am very happy for Soleil Studio for having made at least a game that they themselves thought was awesome. They were thinking to themselves, we are going to make something that feels cool, and they committed to it. And I cannot blame them from going out swinging. Now, do I recommend that you go and play Wanted Dead? Certainly, it's one of the gaming experiences of this year, so definitely try it out. In what concerns me, I'm just very happy that I got to talk about this and got it out of my system, and we'll have to make a nice edit about this game. But if anything else, I am now going to try to make Hannah Stone's breakfast recipe because it sounds hella delicious, and yeah, we should also have a wonderful day and see you guys in the next video. Bye!